Roman Reigns aligns with Cody Rhodes. YouTube script. Are you absolutely out of your mind? Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, the two men who went to war at WrestleMania not once but twice, the same Roman who tormented Cody for years, who crushed his dreams, who made his life hell, are now supposed to be teammates for WarGames. WWE really expects us to just forget everything that happened between these two and accept that they're suddenly working together like nothing ever happened. This is either the most brilliant long-term storytelling in WWE history, or it's the most insulting piece of booking that treats fans like we have the memory of a goldfish. And honestly, I can't decide which one it is, but I'm about to break down exactly why this alliance has the entire wrestling world ready to explode. Before we dive into this absolute insanity, answer me this: can you ever truly trust someone who destroyed your dreams multiple times? Drop yes or no in the comments, because this is the question that defines everything. The wrestling world just witnessed something that seemed impossible. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the man who held Cody Rhodes down at WrestleMania 39, the man who represented everything Cody had to overcome, just officially aligned with Cody Rhodes for WarGames at Survivor Series 2025. Let that sink in. These aren't just former rivals, these are mortal enemies joining forces. Let's break down exactly how this happened, because the details matter. Was this a reluctant alliance born out of necessity? Did Roman and Cody shake hands and agree to put the past behind them? Or is there more going on beneath the surface that we're not seeing yet? According to reports, the announcement came during a segment where the urgency of the WarGames situation became undeniable. Solo Sikoa's Bloodline is running roughshod over everyone. They're destroying people week after week, and neither Roman nor Cody can stop them alone. So the enemy of my enemy becomes my teammate? The visual of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes standing side by side is surreal. These two men have spent so much time as adversaries that seeing them as allies feels wrong on a fundamental level. It's like watching Batman team up with the Joker. It shouldn't work, but here we are. The crowd reaction must have been insane. Half the arena probably popped with excitement at seeing these two legends together. The other half probably sat in confused silence trying to process what they just witnessed. This is the kind of moment that creates instant debate. What was your immediate gut reaction to this alliance? Excitement? Anger? Confusion? Be specific. Now let's talk about the trust issues, because they are massive and unavoidable. How can Cody Rhodes possibly trust Roman Reigns after everything that happened between them? Roman made Cody's life miserable for over a year. He beat him at WrestleMania 39 in what should have been Cody's coronation moment. He used every dirty trick in the book. He brought in the Bloodline to attack Cody repeatedly. He did everything possible to prevent Cody from finishing his story. Even though Cody eventually won at WrestleMania 40, even though he finally defeated Roman and became WWE Champion, that doesn't erase the trauma of what Roman put him through. That doesn't magically make them friends. That doesn't create trust. So when they're in WarGames together, when the match is at its most chaotic, when Cody is vulnerable and needs backup, will Roman actually help him? Or will Roman see an opportunity to strike and settle old scores? That's the question hanging over this entire alliance. And it goes both ways. Can Roman trust Cody? Cody is the man who ended Roman's historic championship reign. Cody is the one who accomplished what so many others couldn't. Does Roman resent that? Does he secretly want revenge? In WarGames, anything can happen. Accidental attacks occur. People get caught in crossfire. If Roman or Cody wanted to hurt each other while making it look unintentional, WarGames provides the perfect environment. This alliance is a powder keg waiting to explode. The question isn't if someone betrays someone, it's when and who betrays first. Who do you think will betray who first, Roman or Cody? Or will they actually stay loyal? Cast your vote. Here's what's making people absolutely furious: this feels like WWE is devaluing everything that happened at WrestleMania. Cody's big moment, his story culmination, the emotional payoff of finally beating Roman, all of that feels diminished when they're teaming up just months later. WrestleMania was supposed to be the end of their story. Cody won. He finished his story. He proved he was better than Roman. That should have been the permanent conclusion of their rivalry. They should go their separate ways as forever adversaries who respect each other from a distance. But now they're teammates. Now they're working together like the past doesn't matter. That makes WrestleMania feel less important. If they can just team up whenever it's convenient, then their rivalry wasn't as deep or meaningful as we thought. This is WWE's constant problem. They create these epic, emotional storylines, and then they immediately undermine them for the next angle. They don't let moments breathe. They don't let emotions settle. They just move on to whatever's next without considering how it affects what came before. Imagine if after Stone Cold finally defeated Mr. McMahon, they just started teaming up the next month. It would ruin everything that made their rivalry special. Some feuds are too important to just casually dismiss. The counterargument is that this is realistic. In real combat sports, former rivals team up all the time when circumstances demand it. Pride gets put aside when survival is at stake. Having a common enemy that's bigger than their personal issues makes sense. Plus, this creates tension and drama. The uncertainty of whether they'll actually work together or fall apart is compelling storytelling. It's not ignoring the past, it's building on it by making that past a potential source of conflict. Does teaming up former rivals enhance or damage their previous feuds? Give me examples that support your view. Let's discuss the rest of the team because Roman and Cody can't go into WarGames alone. They need 3 more members, and who they choose will tell us everything about this alliance. For Cody's picks, the obvious choices are people he trusts. Kevin Owens has been his ally. Randy Orton is someone Cody has history with. LA Knight is someone who could benefit from this spotlight. These are people Cody knows will have his back. But will Roman approve of Cody's choices? Will Roman want to bring in his own people? The Usos are obvious candidates if they reconcile with Roman. Sami Zayn could be brought back into the fold despite their complicated history. The team composition could become a source of conflict even before WarGames. What if Roman refuses to team with someone Cody wants? What if Cody vetoes Roman's suggestions? The negotiations alone could be explosive. And here's the really interesting question: who's the leader? Is this Cody's team that Roman joined? Or is this Roman's team that Cody is part of? That distinction matters because it affects the power dynamic. Roman has spent years as the absolute leader of the Bloodline. He's used to everyone following his orders. He's not great at being an equal partner, let alone a subordinate. Can he handle not being in charge? Cody is the WWE champion. He's the face of the company. He's earned leadership through his journey. Is he supposed to just defer to Roman because of Roman's history? That doesn't make sense for his character. This leadership conflict could destroy the team before WarGames even happens. Or it could force both men to grow and adapt in ways that make them stronger. Who should be the other 3 members of this WarGames team? Give me your ideal roster. Here's a controversial take: maybe this alliance is a mistake and WWE should have kept them as enemies. Maybe some rivalries are too good to end, and Roman vs. Cody should have continued indefinitely. Think about all the great rivalries in wrestling history. Austin vs. McMahon went for years. Rock vs. Austin had multiple chapters. Cena vs. Orton felt endless. The best rivalries aren't one and done, they evolve and continue. Roman and Cody have incredible chemistry. Their matches are always excellent. Their storylines are always compelling. Why end that by making them teammates? Why not find new ways to keep them opposed while still moving the story forward? Having them team up feels like WWE ran out of ideas. They couldn't figure out what to do with either man individually, so they just threw them together. That's lazy booking that wastes 2 of their biggest stars. But here's the other perspective: keeping them as enemies forever gets stale. Fans eventually get tired of seeing the same matchup. Fresh matchups and new dynamics keep things interesting. Having Roman and Cody team up opens new storytelling possibilities. How do they coexist? What happens if they succeed? What happens if they fail? These are new questions that create new content. Plus, the eventual betrayal and return to rivalry will be even more impactful because they had this period of forced cooperation. When Roman inevitably turns on Cody or vice versa, it'll hurt more because of this team up. Should WWE have kept them as rivals, or is this team up the right call? Defend your position. Let's talk about Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline because they're the reason this alliance exists. Solo has taken over as tribal chief. He's assembled his own version of the Bloodline with Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu, and they've been dominating. From Solo's perspective, having Roman and Cody team up against him must be terrifying. These are 2 of the biggest stars in WWE history. 2 former champions. 2 men who've proven they can win the biggest matches. But it's also validating for Solo. The fact that Roman and Cody need to team up to face him proves that Solo and his Bloodline are that dangerous. You don't team up legends unless the threat is legitimate. This makes Solo look strong even before WarGames happens. He's such a force that he's creating alliances between mortal enemies. That's incredible heel work. The question is, can Roman and Cody's team actually beat Solo's Bloodline? Or will the internal conflicts and trust issues doom them to failure? If they lose, it proves Solo is the rightful tribal chief and that Roman's era is over. That would be massive for Solo's credibility. If they win, does Roman try to reclaim his position as tribal chief? Does this create a 3-way conflict between Roman, Cody, and Solo? The possibilities are endless. Who do you want to see win WarGames, Roman/Cody's team or Solo's Bloodline? Why? Here's what WWE absolutely must do to make this work. Because this alliance is walking a tightrope between brilliant and disastrous. First, acknowledge the tension. Don't pretend Roman and Cody are suddenly best friends. Show the awkwardness. Show the distrust. Show them struggling to work together. That's what makes it real. Second, give them moments of forced cooperation where they reluctantly help each other and it works. Small victories that show they can function as a team even if they don't like it. Third, create situations where one has to save the other. Nothing builds reluctant respect like someone having your life in their hands and choosing to protect you. These moments are crucial. Fourth, show progress in their relationship. By the time WarGames arrives, they should be functional partners even if they're not friends. Show the evolution from enemies to allies. Fifth, plant seeds of inevitable betrayal. Even if they work together at WarGames, we need hints that this alliance is temporary. Lingering looks. Moments of hesitation. Keep us wondering. Sixth, make WarGames deliver. The match needs to be incredible. The teamwork needs to look believable. The stakes need to feel real. Everything builds to this moment. What's the one thing WWE cannot mess up with this storyline? What's your red line? Let me give you my prediction for how this all plays out, and feel free to screenshot this and call me out if I'm wrong. I think Roman and Cody's alliance will be rocky from the start with multiple near breakdowns. They'll almost come to blows several times before WarGames, but each time, the threat of Solo's bloodline will force them to refocus. I think in WarGames itself, there will be a moment where Roman has the opportunity to betray Cody. Maybe Cody's vulnerable. Maybe attacking him would guarantee Roman can reclaim his tribal chief position. The temptation will be there, but Roman will choose to help Cody instead. He'll make the decision that the team matters more than his personal agenda. This will be Roman's character growth moment, showing he's evolved. I think they win WarGames together through genuine teamwork. The final moment will be Roman and Cody hitting tandem moves to secure victory. It'll be a legitimately feel-good moment. But after the victory, the tension returns. Maybe during the celebration, Roman and Cody have a stare down. Maybe Roman acknowledges Cody but makes it clear this doesn't mean they're friends. The alliance was business, nothing more. I think this sets up their next confrontation somewhere down the line. Maybe Royal Rumble. Maybe WrestleMania. But this alliance plants the seeds for their inevitable return to rivalry. And I think when they do fight again, it'll be even better because of this period of cooperation. They'll know each other's strategies better. They'll understand each other's psychology. The match quality will be elevated. How close do you think I am? What am I missing? Give me your predictions. Here's my final take on Roman Reigns officially aligning with Cody Rhodes for WarGames. This is risky storytelling. Teaming up your two biggest stars who just had an epic rivalry is playing with fire. If it works, it's brilliant. If it fails, you've damaged both characters and wasted an opportunity. But I'm cautiously optimistic because WWE has been on a hot streak with storytelling. The Bloodline saga has been consistently excellent. They've shown they can handle complex character dynamics. They've earned some benefit of the doubt. The key is execution. The alliance needs to feel earned, not convenient. The tension needs to be palpable. The payoff needs to justify the setup. If WWE can deliver on all that, this could be one of the best angles of the year. Roman and Cody are professionals who can make this work in the ring. They've proven they have chemistry. They know how to tell stories. They understand the psychology. If anyone can pull this off, it's them. WarGames is the perfect environment for this story. The chaos of the match allows for both cooperation and conflict. Mistakes can happen. Intentions can be questioned. Everything is heightened in that structure. My hope is that this creates new layers to both characters. Roman showing he can be a team player. Cody showing he can work with his worst enemy. Both men growing through this experience. The wrestling world is watching. This alliance is the talk of the industry. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's invested. That's exactly what WWE wants. Now I need your complete thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this alliance? Can Cody and Roman actually work together, or is failure inevitable? Who's your pick for the other 3 team members? Build the complete roster. What's the first thing they should do as teammates to establish they're serious? Will this alliance last through WarGames, or will someone betray before then? What's your favorite moment from Roman and Cody's rivalry that makes this alliance seem impossible? When they eventually fight again, who should win? Smash that like button if this alliance has you hyped for WarGames. Subscribe to Wrestling Newsletter because we're covering every development in this insane storyline. Hit that bell. Share this video with everyone because this alliance is the most controversial thing in wrestling right now. Roman and Cody together. Nobody saw it coming. Everybody has opinions. The road to Survivor Series just got infinitely more interesting. Let's see if these two legends can put aside their hatred long enough to survive WarGames. This is going to be unmissable.